In today's video, we're breaking down Savage Good Boy by Japanese Breakfast. If you like the video, please like and subscribe down below and consider leaving me a comment if there's some song you'd like for me to cover. Also, if you would like to, you can check out the Patreon where you can join for as little as $5 a month, and we're helping get beginners into affordable lessons and instruments. Also, on this particular lesson, you'll get a PDF of the lesson as well as a Guitar Pro file of the lesson. All right, grab a guitar and let's play. There's a ton of chords in this song, but you can substitute some really easy ones. So what I'm going to do is show you the original chord that it's being used in the song and then a substitution. The first chord we're going to look at is going to be a D that's going to be played with the first finger on the 4th string 4th fret and the second finger on the 5th string 5th fret. So it's sort of like this C shape, but we're just going to be using the notes on the 5th and 4th string. And if you want to substitute a chord for that, you can play a D up here, kind of in the first position, or you can do a bar chord here on the 5th fret. Next chord we're going to look at is going to be a G suspended second. G suspended second is going to have the second finger on the 6th string 3rd fret, the 4th finger on the 5th string 5th fret, and then we're going to have the first finger come grab the A note on the 3rd string 2nd fret. Now, if that's too hard to play at first, you can also substitute just a G bar chord or a G5 chord. Next, we've got an E minor, and this particular E minor is going to have an open E string. It's going to have your first finger on the 5th string 2nd fret, but your 4th finger is going to come down here to the 4th string 5th fret. And if that's too hard, you can also just substitute a regular E minor chord. Next, we've got A with a C sharp bass. The 3rd finger is going to come down here and grab the C sharp on the 5th string 4th fret, while the first finger is going to bar the 2nd fret for the 3rd and 4th strings. Now, if that's too hard to play, you can just do a regular A chord, in that position, or a bar chord up here. Next, we have just a G5 chord, real straightforward. It's going to be first finger on 6th string 3rd fret, 3rd finger on 5th string 5th fret. No substitute needed for that. Next, we have an A5 chord, so it'll be that same shape, moved up to the 5th fret, first finger on the 5th fret, 6th string, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the 5th string. Next up, we have just a regular E minor chord. So no substitute needed for this. It's just going to be our 2nd and 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th and 4th string, or you can use your 1st and 2nd finger, whatever your preference. We've got another version of the D chord that we started the song with. It's going to be the C shape, so that first position C shape moved up to the 3rd fret. And we're going to let all those notes ring from the 5th string to the 2nd string. Finally, we've just got a regular A chord. You can play that with fingers 1, 2, and 3 on the 2nd fret. You can do a bar. And then lastly, we just have an E5 chord. So it's going to be an open E, and then the first finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. There's quite a few sections to this song, and there's not a ton of repetition, so I'm going to go through the song part by part from the beginning all the way to the end, and then I'm going to break out the guitar solo at the very end, and there's actually 2 parts to that solo. The intro is going to start off with the D chord, which is just using the 1st and 2nd fingers on the 4th and 5th strings. So it's going to play that sort of 8th note pattern for 3 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it's going to go to the E minor, that's this shape, for 1 measure, and then the G suspended second for 1 measure. And then next the band will come in, so that intro will sound like this. And one thing that's helpful when you're playing that G suspended second is to think of that chord like a bar chord, in the sense that you've got the root and the 5 here, but you're playing it with your second and fourth finger instead of your, say, first and third finger. So what I do when I switch from the E minor to that G suspended second, I think mentally about it being a bar chord, and I think of my second finger here as sort of leading the charge, and it gives me a second to get my first finger down here on A. So it goes from... So you might see where it takes me just a second to get that first finger up there. Now on the 6th measure, the band's going to come in and we're going to play that E minor chord that's this shape for 2 measures, and then we're going to do 2 measures of that G chord. So it's going to start like this. And then the pattern is going to repeat. So if you remember, we started off on the D with the extended intro. It's going to go through D, E minor, G, 2 measures of E minor, and then 2 measures of G. So I'll go ahead and play that so you can hear it. So after that intro part, that's going to repeat. So next we have the chorus, and at a high level, the chorus uses the chords A, D, E minor, and G. That's going to be the first sort of 4-bar pattern, and that's going to repeat, although the chords, the way we play them, are going to slightly change. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and play through the chorus, and I'm going to call out the chords as I play them, and then you can see how I'm playing them with my hands. So it's going to start with the A with a C sharp bass, to D, to E minor, to G5, to A5, to D, to E minor, to G, to A, to D, to E minor, to G, to A, to G, to D. Next we've got a verse. There's not a lot of repetition here, so I'll just call out the changes, and we're going to start with the D, which is just the 2 fingers right there on the 4th and 5th fret. So E minor, G, E minor, G, D, E minor, G, E minor, Next we get to the final chorus. The final chorus is just going to start with a ringing A chord, and this is where the band sort of breaks down, and then it's going to pick up with an E and G and A 5 chord. So I'll go ahead and call it out as I play through it. So it's going to start with A, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, E, and G, and A, and D, and E, and G, A, and D, and E, and G, and A, and G, and the D. So at the very end, we've got a guitar solo, and we're going to talk about the chords that go underneath it. It's pretty straightforward here. It's just going to be an E for 2 measures, a G for 2 measures, an E for 2 measures, a G for 2 measures, and then finally we're going to end on a D. So I'll call it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. E, G, and E, and G, Alright, with the chords behind us, now let's go over the 2 parts to the guitar solo. The first guitar in the solo is going to start on the 5th fret and slide up to the 15th fret. I'm using my 3rd finger, so it puts me in a better position for the rest of the riff. And then it's going to go 14, 12, then back to 15 on the second string, and then 15, 14, 12, back to 15 on the second string, and then 14 on the E string. So and then it's going to repeat 15, 14, 12, and then 15 on the B string, and then it'll have a little run, which is going to start on the G string, and it's going to go 11, 12, and then 10, 11, 13 on the B string, up to D on the first string, 10th fret, then back to 13 on the second string, 11, and then slide up to 15 for the end. Now the second guitar harmonizes that solo that we just listened to, and it's going to start with your third finger on the 7th fret sliding up to the 17th. And from there it's going to go to the 15th fret, 14, and then 16 on the third string. That's going to repeat 17, 15, 14, 16 on the third string, and then back to 15, the D, on the second string. It's going to repeat 17, 15, 14, and then 16 again on the G string. Then the little run it's going to do is going to start on the 4th string on the 16th fret. And it's going to go 16, 17, and then 14, 15, 17 on the G string, 15 on the B string, and then back to 17 on G, back to 15, and then finally 15th fret of the second string for the D. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this lesson, please leave them in the comments down below, and consider joining the Patreon for as little as $5 a month, where you'll get the PDF of this lesson and the Guitar Pro file for this lesson. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Probably your fingers are all sore from that when your hands are all stretched out, so go get some coffee and we'll see you in the next lesson. And then finally ending on the 15th fret.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding right now. Please try a little.
Alexa, stop.